The pen trembled between my fingers, not from fear, but restraint. He sat across the table, relaxed, confident. That smug half-smile he wore when he thought he'd won. The divorce papers lay neatly aligned beside a folded offer letter I was never meant to see. "Sign it," he said, voice smooth as oil. "It's for the best." The best. That's what he always said when he was about to take something from me. I looked at the letter again. Executive Project Manager. Offer withdrawn at candidate's request. My name typed neatly, my dream erased with a polite corporate phrase. "I never declined the offer," I said quietly. He leaned back, arms folded. "I know, I did. You wouldn't have lasted. I recommended someone more suitable." His phone lit up. Her name flashed on the screen, Samantha, his assistant, the one who suddenly started wearing red lipstick, the same shade I used to wear. The room went still. My breath was steady. He thought I was breaking, but I was only beginning. We met 7 years ago at a networking event. He was charming, too charming. I mistook ambition for admiration, control for care. When he smiled, I felt seen. When he spoke, I felt chosen. He studied me like a strategist studies terrain, identifying strengths to use and weaknesses to exploit. Back then, I called it chemistry. Now, I call it reconnaissance. The first lie was small, a forgotten call, a misplaced document, then an erased text thread. I told myself all couples go through phases, but phases don't whisper another woman's name in their sleep. The night I discovered the affair, he was careless. A message on our shared tablet. "Don't worry, babe, she's not getting the job." I told HR she's overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. That was the word he used to describe me. I stared at the glowing screen, heart silent, mind clear. I didn't confront him that night. I went to bed beside him, breathing evenly as he mumbled goodnight. I kissed his shoulder and smiled into the dark, because I already knew how the story would end. While he believed I was nursing heartbreak, I was busy redrafting the ending. First, I met with the hiring manager. I didn't accuse, I inquired. Calm, polite, professional. I asked for a record of all communications under my name. HR handed it over. His email was there, bold, signed, undeniable. Then I went to our joint account. I had always managed the bills, the mortgage, the taxes, the unglamorous details of our life. But he never noticed the quiet clauses I'd slipped into our agreements, the small print that tied assets to my name through operational dependency. He thought he owned half. He owned none. Next, I called my lawyer. Quietly, methodically, I arranged a transfer of our holdings, property, investments, the startup he registered under my credentials, all safeguarded under a new trust, one he couldn't access. When he traveled with Samantha to pitch to investors, I copied his presentation deck, stripped his data, and forwarded the plagiarism evidence to the company's ethics board. He'd used confidential client material, a fatal mistake. 3 days later, he received a termination notice. I was CC'd. Now, here we were. He tapped the divorce papers. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." I smiled. "You're right. Let's make it easy." I slid the offer letter toward him, the one I'd already replaced. I spoke to the hiring manager. She was impressed by your initiative. She wanted to thank you personally for recommending Samantha. His eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" "She got the job." A flicker of pride crossed his face before confusion set in. "She starts Monday. Full-time, non-compete clause, high-profile clients, relocation included." He blinked. "Relocation?" I nodded slowly. "To Singapore." The silence cracked. I leaned forward, voice soft. "I told her you both wanted a fresh start. She was thrilled. HR fast-tracked it. His jaw tightened. You wouldn't. I already did. He reached for his phone. I watched his face as he read the company's confirmation email. His pulse jumped, visible in his neck. She leaves tomorrow, I whispered. You should start packing. He slammed the pen down, eyes burning. You think this makes you the winner? I met his gaze. No, just free. He looked like he wanted to speak, to wound, to reclaim control, but all his weapons were gone. The job, the money, the girl, even his lies had turned against him. I picked up the divorce papers, flipped to the last page, and signed. My signature was calm, deliberate, the final stroke of a masterpiece. I left the pen on the table. You were right, I said, turning toward the door. That role was demanding. You just weren't qualified. Outside, the air was cold, clean, sharp with victory. The job was reinstated. My name restored. My future mine again. Revenge, I learned, isn't rage. It's precision. It's the art of letting someone dig their own grave.